But if you're looking at that bag by itself, I don't think that's screaming designer bag. I don't think that's screaming logo. I don't think that's just screaming luxury bag. I think that is a really fun, modern way to add an understated, quiet luxury bag that isn't logo. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. With all this talk recently about quiet luxury and stealth wealth, it got me thinking about understated luxury handbags and which ones I actually like, which ones I would actually be interested in buying, and the ones that I actually think are the best options for luxury understated handbags. And today I'm going to share with you my top best 8 understated luxury handbags, and all of these are bags that I would actually be interested in and could see myself buying and adding to my collection. And the first one is the Celine Triomphe. I absolutely love this bag. I can tell you when I fell in love with this bag. We were in Paris, there was a lady walking down the street and she was wearing the black Triomphe with the gold clasp, crossbody, and it was just stunning. It was understated, it was elegant, it was classy, but there was something about it that just really grabbed my attention. I thought it was beautiful. The gold clasp did all the talking for the bag. It didn't need all of this that I've got going on. It was absolutely beautiful, and since then I have been in love with the Celine Triomphe. I've tried it on a few times, I haven't pulled the trigger, but this is definitely number one of the understated luxury, quiet luxury bags that I could see myself buying. I think this bag is absolutely beautiful and superb and just a stunning, stunning piece. Number 2 is actually a bag that I discovered through Steph from Handbagholic, and it is the DeMellier bags. Now I know somebody's going to come back to me and say they're not luxury bags, they're not Loewe Vuitton, they're not Chanel, they're not Hermes. Okay, but they're absolutely stunning. And they seem to be, from Steph's review on her channel, very, very good quality. They seem to be a beautiful leather. They are a much more affordable price point. I think Steph's describing them as low luxe, and I totally get that. I think that's a perfect description. But this bag has really sparked my interest. I think it's very, very beautiful. When I checked them out on the website, they're now bringing them out in a range of different colours. They have it in a bright green that's absolutely beautiful. It's a stunning shade. They also have it in a black and white striped version, which I thought was beautiful. This bag actually really reminds me of the Celine bags. I think they're the same look, the same shape. It might even be a type of a dupe of that bag, but I think it's beautiful. And for understated, quiet luxury bags, this is definitely a brand that I would consider looking at, and this is a bag that I would consider buying, especially for someone who likes things a little bit loud and in your face. If I'm going to buy an understated bag and I'm not quite sure how it's going to work for me, this would be the perfect price point to try it out rather than going straight for the Celine bag. Although the price increases make you want to go and get the one that you're thinking of. That's something I would internally debate, no doubt, for a while, but I think these DeMellier bags are beautiful. They're very understated, and they're definitely a bag that's on my radar and I would consider buying. Number 3, this is stunning. It's the Fendi Peekaboo. I think this bag is absolutely beautiful. I think it's a very classic, elegant piece of craftsmanship. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The reason I don't have a Fendi Peekaboo in my collection is it really reminds me of the Louis Vuitton capucines. Now I can see my Louis Vuitton capucines in the BB poking out here, and nobody's calling that understated or elegant. That's one of the Audi capucines. It's very bright, it's very coloured, it's very in your face. But the peekaboo shape and the style of the bag really reminds me of the style of that bag. It has the little lock on it that turns. It doesn't have the FF, it doesn't have the Zucca print, it doesn't have the Fendi logo all over it. I think if you didn't know what that bag was and you saw somebody wearing it down the street, you wouldn't automatically know. You wouldn't know it was Fendi, you wouldn't know it was luxury, you wouldn't know it was designer. You would certainly know that it was a beautiful handbag, but it would fall into the understated or quiet luxury type bags, and I think it's beautiful. Since they started bringing these out in a huge more range of colours, they've had them in some really beautiful bright colours. They do them with the prints on them. There was the face and the design on them last year. I think they're beautiful. The mini is probably the one that would speak to me most. Aren't we all shocked that it would be the mini? I think the bigger versions are probably like the bigger versions of the capucines, but a very elegant bag, a very stunning bag. I think it's beautiful. Now, I do think it's expensive. I think the Peekaboo for Fendi is probably quite like the capucines in the Louis Vuitton line. I think it's their higher tier bag. It's certainly their higher priced bag, probably the one that they view as being the upper of their lines. It's beautiful. It is a lot of money and it would be an investment into your wardrobe if you did decide to buy one. But for me, if I was looking at these bags, this is a bag that I would consider buying, and I have considered buying them, probably in a very bright colour or with one of those patterns, and probably one of the smaller sizes. But this is a bag that I would not be shocked to see in my collection at some time. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Number 4, I have nearly bought this bag about 3 times, and every time in the same colour, and it's the Loewe Puzzle Bag. And the one that I very nearly bought multiple times was the bright orange mini puzzle bag. I thought this bag was stunning. I've tried it on, I think, twice in vlogs on the channel. I just thought the orange in it was absolutely beautiful. It's one of those bags, and I forgot to put it in the video I released recently, that when I went to try it on, I don't know why I didn't buy it. There was just something about it that when I tried it on didn't make me actually go through with the purchase, but I kind of regret that because I think it's really stunning. I think it's really beautiful. The bright orange in it, you can carry it handheld, you can fit everything in it. I just think it's beautiful. And the Loewe Puzzle Bag is one of those bags that's not covered in logos. If you didn't know handbags, if you weren't a luxury lover or follow handbag channels or Loewe, you wouldn't know what that was. You would look at it and think that's a very interesting bag, that's beautiful, but I don't think you would know it was luxury or designer. Doesn't have the logos all over it, and I think it is a very understated, classic, beautiful bag. I really like them when they do them in the different leathers. The type of the puzzle bag having all the different sets of leathers put together. Puzzle bag, I know, get it, Amelia. But whenever you think of that in the tricolour versions, when there's the 3 different colours of leather put together in all of those puzzle pieces, it looks fabulous. I think it looks really, really beautiful. There was one for sale from Jodie from Hilo Luxe that I missed because I didn't click on the buttons quick enough. Hers was tri-coloured, it was all multicoloured, really, really stunning. And this is a bag that I definitely wouldn't rule out in the future. I kind of do regret not buying the orange. I thought it was stunning. I don't know what was going on in my mind at the time, but definitely, I think one of the best understated bags and one of the bags I would not rule out buying. Number 5, and if you've watched my recent vlogs, you're not going to be surprised at this one, and it is the Bottega Jodie. Now, I really like the mini. I really like the mini in the really bright green. I think it's really cute. I think it's really striking. I think it's really fun. I don't particularly know if I have a need for a mini Jodie. I have so many smaller bags that I wear going out. I just don't know if I would go for that over some of these, or if I would go for it often enough for the price of the mini Jodie, but I really love it and I keep going back to visit it and it's living in there for a while. I also like the larger Jodie. The larger Jodie came up in conversation in the comments when I was talking about the Louis Vuitton Le Hobo bag, and this was kind of described to it. I know this is one that Deb from Wild Unfiltered really likes, and I think it's a really stunning bag. The only kind of concern I have about the bigger Jodie is I don't know if it would sit on my shoulder. It kind of gives me the impression it's maybe a bit tighter and might slip off. I could be completely wrong because I haven't tried the larger version as often as I've went to visit the little tiny mini one, but I think this is a beautiful bag. Again, if you did not know what this was, you wouldn't know it was designer, you wouldn't know what it was. I think the intricato, is that how you say that? Leather, the weaving of the leather is stunning. I think it's a piece of art. There's real craftsmanship in that. Beautiful, beautiful bag, and definitely one bit more understated that I could imagine on these shelves. Number 6 is Hermes. And the Birkin's poking out up here. You can see the Birkin. Now my Birkin is obviously in a really bright, deep, pink, purpley type colour, which is going to maybe attract attention because of the colour. But if you didn't know what a Birkin was, would you know that's an Hermes bag? Would you know that's an expensive bag? Would you know that bag, I'm not going to say is worth, but would you know that bag costs the amount of money that it does? I don't think you would. I think if you weren't a handbag lover and you didn't know handbags, I don't think you'd know that was a designer bag. The same with the Kelly. I think they're very understated. That's certainly one that I already have. The mini Kelly's high up on my wish list, although it's impossible to get, but I think it's beautiful. So those bags are definitely bags that I think are understated. I think they're fab, and they're bags that I would have in my collection. The Birkin in the bigger sizes, I don't know if I would buy because it would, for me, probably be a work bag, and that's a ridiculous amount of money for a work bag. Let's be honest. The Kelly, it's the mini one that I really, really like. I think the 25 is cool as well. But I think those are really understated. They're very expensive, very difficult to get, but I couldn't do my best understated quiet luxury bags that I would buy without including them. Number 7 is another bag that I kind of regret not buying, and it's the Gucci Mini 1947 bag. Mine was in the bright orange. There's a theme with the bright colours, but if you've been here before, we know this. The bright orange, it has the bamboo handle, it has the bamboo turn lock, it comes with the 2 straps. You can get this in so many colours, so it doesn't have to be a bright orange, in your face, look at me, I've arrived type bag. They do come in understated colours, they come in quieter colours. Personally, I love the bright, but even in the bright, if you didn't know Gucci, didn't know their bags, didn't know their history, I don't think you'd look at that and think, that's a Gucci bag, or that's a designer bag, or there's no logo on it. There's nothing on it that's going to give it away. Maybe if you were wearing the green and red woven strap and you know Gucci, because green and red are obviously Gucci colours, if you know Gucci, you might know. But if you're looking at that bag by itself, I don't think that's screaming designer bag. I don't think that's screaming logo. I don't think that's just screaming luxury bag. I think that is a really fun, modern, even though it's the 1947 bag and they were around, but the look of them now with the colours, I think it's a really fun way to add an understated quiet luxury bag that isn't logoed and isn't completely obvious what it is. And this is a bag, I kind of regret not buying the orange, so I wouldn't rule out having one of these at a time because I think it's really cool. And number 8 for me, as I go and lift it, is the Chanel Reissue. Now, yes, mine is brightly coloured, mine is multicoloured. This is the rainbow one that came in the metallic leather. It has the bright gold chains on it. This in itself is not understated with the colours. It kind of screams, look at me. I don't care, I love it. So yes, this version, and the other version I have, the Reissue, has the Chanel graffiti all over it. But if you take away the bright colours, the actual bag itself is understated. The actual bag itself is quiet luxury because it doesn't have a logo. It's not screaming with CCs. It doesn't have the CC turn lock. This has the original turn lock that was designed by Gabrielle Chanel. This is what was on the original bags. It is a lot quieter. You would not look at that. It does say Chanel underneath it down here, but somebody's going to have to be mighty close to your bag to see the little Chanel engraved underneath it. This lock, I think if you want a Chanel bag that isn't as obviously Chanel, doesn't have the CCs, the Reissue is a perfect example and I really love it. It's a beautiful bag. I love the fact that this has 4 grommets. Mine is the mini. If you're going for the bigger one, that's different because you're up in the sizes, and the Chanel Classic flaps over there have the 4 grommets in the bigger sizes. If you're going for a traditional Chanel mini rectangle like these ones over here, which do have the CC on them and are not quiet, they have 2 grommets at the top. So if you want to double them up and wear them on your shoulder like this, you'll need to clip it on the inside to make that happen. On the Reissue, it's a lot easier. It has the 4 even on the mini, so it's easy to do this, easy to make it crossbody, and I think this bag is stunning. There is a teal green version of this, which I did put on my community post when I saw it come up on Fashion File, and only that I have spent a lot on handbags recently. That bag is on my list. I think Jessie Style actually used to have it in the teal green. Teal green leather, this lock, you wouldn't know it was Chanel. You wouldn't know it was a luxury designer bag, but it's absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful bag. It's one of those bags that just calls me. If you bought this in quieter colours, you had this bag, nobody's going to know what that is. It's not screaming Chanel. There are, of course, lots of other understated, quiet luxury bags out there. These are the 8 that I would be most interested in. These are the 8 that I think, for me, are 8 of the best understated, quiet luxury bags. They're 8 that I would actually buy and put into my collection. Of course, there are others, but I think these 8 are pretty fab. What do you think? Are there any understated luxury bags that are on your radar? Or are you somebody who generally buys understated bags and wouldn't want all the tacky that's sitting around me? Because that's okay too, because we're all free to have our own opinions and our own likes, and it's what keeps fashion, handbags interesting. Oh, could you imagine if we all liked the same thing? I think it's fabulous that we all have different likes and dislikes. Thank you so much for watching me. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not done with me yet, I'm going to leave another video for you on the screen. If you haven't yet, please do consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching me. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.